Troy Francis is a degenerate. A lot of these red pill guys or PUAs, they have some great content when it comes to understanding female nature, and that's great. But if they're out here promoting degeneracy, sleeping with a bunch of women, they're degenerates. I seen this guy on Twitter sitting here saying that the average man is dog shit. The average, you wouldn't have the luxuries in your life to be able to enjoy without the average man. And just the arrogance of these people. Everybody's stupid but me. All the average people are just crap but me. It just pisses me off. These people have no humility. They don't give a damn about society. They're highly narcissistic people. How's it going? And they're out here just selling a product. And that's what you have to understand, is that's all they're about. If these people actually cared about helping people out to better themselves, they definitely wouldn't be charging outrageous prices to help them out. And if they're so big, they would recruit other people to help take some of that burden off of helping people out to coach. I just look at when somebody calls themselves a life coach, I just look at that as cringe. And I'm the king of cringe. I mean, you see my videos, they're very cringy. So I definitely can see cringe. I know cringe. and that's just so cringy to call yourself a life coach at this point. But it's just the audacity of these people to, Troy Francis, to sit here and just mock and talk down to people who, like I said, provide the luxuries in his life. If it wasn't for the average people who sustain this infrastructure, he would be in the fields. He would be dead, honestly. He doesn't have any that he has nothing to contribute to society. He would be in the fields plowing all day or hauling water. He sits here and boasts about sleeping with a bunch of women like he's so cool and that's so respectable. Dude, I've been there. I've done it. It's degenerate. It doesn't accomplish anything. And if you tell somebody and kind of brag about it, no, they look at you like you're lying. They don't believe you. It's not like you're getting tons of money because you sleep with all these females. And obviously there's genetics, having good genetics. Women like taller guys. So it's kind of like a basketball player. Well, if they're 6'8" and they can dunk, they got good genetics because they're tall. Well, if you're trying to teach somebody to dunk when they're 5'9", they don't have good genetics. Yeah, it's easy for you because and you're 5'9", you might be able to dunk one day. You're gonna have to work way harder. But you have good genetics. And a lot of these people who are PUAs or whatever, they already have good genetics. And they have worked on the game, which is good. Learning how to talk to people is great. If it's for good. So a lot of these people try to act like they're stoic. They don't respect themselves. They don't respect society. They're hollow. That's all they are. They're a hollow shell. There's no morality. There's no honor in these people. all they're promoting is degeneracy. And if honestly, being a man, you know what being a man is? Like people, what's a man? You know, being a man is taking a situation and making it better, not making it worse. Try to make things worse. Like these PUA guys are lying to the average person, the average man, with their books. Like you can try to be like me. Like, who the hell wants to be like you, man? Seriously, what do you have to offer? Oh, cool, man, you got a lot of money. Wow, that's so cool. You got a lot of money and a luxurious lifestyle, Andrew Tate. Like, dude, there's more to life than just like material fucking things, man. I like Andrew Tate. I like a lot of things he says, but some things I'm just like, there's more to life than fucking Bugattis, dude. Like, it's all you talk about is Bugattis, man. Like, you're a fucking brokey, dude. Maybe you're a fucking brokey spiritually. Maybe you're a brokey when it comes to morality and honor and self-respect. And that's not what they're teaching these people. They just, what I like about Tate is I think there's a lot of the youth that don't have fathers. They don't have a good father figure, and he's trying to help these kids to better themselves. And I'm all about people bettering themselves. But people should want to better themselves for the right reasons. And people like Troy Francis are just going to end up being like that creepy guy at the bar. That old creepy guy. You know, yeah, he's young right now. Youth fades. And honestly, like, you could be in your prime. You can last longer if you're a man compared to a woman. And honestly, like, listen, these guys, they harp on this. They said, oh, women that are over 30, they're just done. Some people are like, oh, women over 25, they're done. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, seriously, like, women can't keep themselves looking good longer. It's like, as soon as they hit 30, the wall, like, they're done. Like, somebody like me, I don't want no more kids. I don't want to be, I've already raised my kids. I'm trying to help progress them into adulthood so they can be productive members of society, independent. And I don't want to raise kids. I don't want to be around kids. I want to enjoy my time. I want to enjoy peace. But kids are pretty cool. I mean, if you have a good setup, a good environment for them to be in, kids will give you a lot of joy. They're a lot of work, of course, but they give you a lot of joy. But this constant, like, this society is like this. There's this whole notion on the internet, like, the internet is not the same as fucking reality, dude. There's this whole notion of just kind of like just let everything burn. Let's not use our influence to try to better things, to try to reform things. Let's just let it burn. That's completely narcissistic. And what's gonna happen anyway? You're probably the people who are just like, oh, just let it fucking burn. You're probably gonna end up dying too. Like, if all the average people like myself decided to stop working, decided to stop contributing to society completely, and it collapses, unless you're in a small community like an Amish who's got each other's back, if you're by yourself, you're dead. You're not going to survive nothing. Like, if society collapsed right now, I'm dead. There's no way I can go try to, like, survive in the woods. Good luck with that. I'm like, seriously, I ain't gonna survive in wolves that long. And there'll be a group of people who's just gonna come and kill me and take my shit. What we need to do is try to reform society, try to use influence to better it. We've made plenty of mistakes. There's some women out here. Like, there's a woman, Better Bachelor just did a show on this. This woman was on OnlyFans, or is on OnlyFans, and she was teaching kids too. She was a teacher, 40 years old, single mom. She ended up getting fired from the school. Why? Because they don't want degenerates teaching their kids. Could you imagine? It's just like, they should look at the problems with all these females going to jail, that are teachers, messing with high school kids. Like that's a big thing that's happening. Like they're predators, but it's degeneracy. There's no long-term thinking. It's only instant gratification right now. Right now, everything is right now. Not thinking about the future, not thinking about the people that you care about, how your actions will affect them. How like your kids will be affected by you being on the internet and exposing everything. Yes, this society has a massive cancer on it. Yes, it is declining. But to give up on everything, just let it go, after all these people have worked so hard to build it up, it took a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice. People died to protect this society, and for it to just to let it go, I'm just gonna worry about myself. I ain't care about anybody else. I mean, there's only so much you can do as a person, but these people have this major influence on people. They don't use their influence for good. Like I'm all about learning about female nature. I'm all about that. And understanding like what triggers women. Not to manipulate them, to try to get them in the sack. That's so immature. That's like that is completely immature. It's degenerate and immature. And it's a society that is not sustainable. So I like a lot of the Red Pill guys' content when it comes to understanding female nature. I definitely get that, and I understand that. And I do see, I think, you got, okay, what's her name? Pearly Things. I see her tweets, and it just seems like she's saying whatever she can say to pander to her audience. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, she doesn't even believe half the shit that she's tweeting out. There's no way she believes this. It's like completely simping for her audience. That's all it is. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these influencers not doing anything to talk about how to make things better. I like Better Bachelor. If I had to say the Red Pill people to listen to that I like is Better Bachelor, Aaron Clary, and I don't agree with everything that they say. I don't agree with everything people that I support what they say, and they definitely wouldn't agree with everything I say, and that's fine. But a lot of these people who are on YouTube, they've never had kids. They've never had a family. Oh, Redonkulous. That's a good one. That's another good one. And they don't know what it's like. They might see it from the outside, but they really don't know what it's like from the inside. Because if you did have daughters, which I don't, like, do you want your daughter just being used and thrown aside by some douchebag? And also like this whole hate on the average man and just like propping up high value. They're promising a bridge to nowhere, because the average guy honestly is not going to, and he could better himself, and I'm all for bettering yourself, you know, physically, mentally, financially. I'm all for that. But the chances of an average guy putting himself in a high value state is a fucking low. It's almost like getting into the NBA or something like that. Like it's a rare thing. And then if you even get into that state where you're like the top 1%, 5% man, look at what you're dealing with out of women. Attitude, like these women sure look good, but they just get passed around. Like there's no respect for themselves. Like that's what you want to attain? You want to have this big, huge mansion with all these nice cars and things around you, with no one to really share them with, or no one to really care about you? And understanding a woman's love is huge. Like, obviously, women aren't attracted to men who don't do shit for them. So, you know, obviously. So, like, you have to provide value in some type of way other than just existing as a man. A woman can just exist and provide value. But my thing is, these dating coaches are still, they're like, these dating coaches, I like Coach Greg Adams. He's good too. He's legit. He understands what's happening too right now. TFM too. But a lot of these people are just trying to sell you this product that worked in the past, but it doesn't work anymore, man. It doesn't work in this climate. If you don't have some type of status on the internet, which most people will never be able to achieve. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying that you can't. You're an average person, but you can't put yourself into a 5% man. But that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. It's probably going to take you decades to get to that point. But I'm saying for the average guy, they're just trying to sell you crap that it did work. It did work in the past. I'm an average guy. I did relatively well with the women, and like I said, I was a degenerate. But the thing is, what good does that do for society and your self-respect and respecting other humans than just to sleep around with women and then just discard them like they're trash? What good does that do? What good does it do? And these people don't care about society. They don't care. And that's because they're narcissistic people. I mean, honestly, most everybody here in America is pretty much some sort of a narcissist, but it's just, there's no values. And I just these people aren't like, if you're a woman and you're sleeping around, it's quite clear that there's been some trauma you've gone through as a child that you haven't overcame. Maybe it was some type of sexual trauma, maybe it's a lack of a father figure. Instead of just being a creep and a complete piece of shit that just preys on which I was, that just preys on them, on their weaknesses, to try to just gain some gratification, for some physical gratification. Why not try to use your influence to help people, to wake people up, There's a lot of emotionally damaged people. And just to prey on them is just, it's pathetic, it's sad. I don't like this guy. I don't like Troy Francis. I don't care if Aaron Clark, well, she's never gonna see this, but if he sees this, if he sees any tweets that I tweeted out at Troy, and he's and he don't like me, that's cool. I don't fucking care. I'm still gonna respect his content. I'm still gonna respect what he puts out, because I find a lot of great things in what he says. But it's just like these PUAs are they just seem like sleaze bags. And Ryan Stone's another one. These people have some good points and understanding shit, but they're just like, they're fake. Ryan Stone's never had a kid. Rolo's had a kid. So there's a certain amount of respect I have for Rolo. Not like a ton, but because he lied to his audience, and he promotes people being alpha when he sitting here like talking about drama, and like, I don't know. A lot of these guys are fake, dude. And honestly, like, for me, the reason why I did well with women is because I pretended to be somebody else. That's it. Most women wouldn't like me for me. I'm a little bit nerdy, awkward. Sometimes I could be awkward. I like to have some alone time. Obviously I have some emotional trauma where it takes a lot to earn my trust. I have abandonment issues. It's called self-awareness and getting to know yourself and not trying to act like you're perfect. These guys are cool, man. Like when it comes to a lot of things that they say, but they're not. You can't just. You don't want to be like, believe everything somebody says, because then you end up being cultish. And not thinking for yourself. We obviously have to rely on other people. It is impossible. We don't have enough time in the day to know everything about everything. So you have to rely on people who are really good sources, who you feel like aren't going to steer you in the wrong direction. Just be careful and don't get into some type of cult mentality when it comes to these influencers. Just because like you agree with a lot of things they say doesn't mean that you can't think for yourself. Like TFM, Turfling Monkey. I like a lot of things he says. Do I agree with everything he says? No. He kind of comes off like a dick sometimes. He kind of comes off like bitter. He kind of comes off like a know-it-all. And nobody likes a fucking know-it-all. Nobody likes a know-it-all at all. Like, he comes across as, I'm always right. And no, he's not. No, he's not always right. Just like anybody else. Just like me. I mean, I'm obviously nobody on here. But you have to have some critical thinking and think for yourself. But yeah.